All right, we are live again with another candidate for MISD School Board. She is an incumbent, place 4, Keziah Farrar. And we are just going to do a quick little 10-minute conversation just so that, again, everybody can get a face with the name. We'll go into more detail when it comes to the actual candidate forum and when we do our luncheon event. But I want to start off with, how long have you been in the Mansfield area?
Hey, well, good afternoon, Lori. Thanks for having me on. So I've actually been in Mansfield for over 40 years. I was born and raised in Mansfield. I went all through school here, went to college at Dallas Baptist University, and then my husband and I decided to stay here. My husband actually grew up in Mansfield as well, so we've stayed here. We've got 3 kids. 18, 16, and 12. And that was one of the main reasons that we decided to stay in Mansfield, was because of the school district. We had such an amazing run, I guess you could say, through the schools. And so that was really important to us, that our kids be in a district that is known for high standards. And we have not been disappointed. It's been great. So we love Mansfield. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Excellent. So what do you feel is, whether it's the primary issue for public education or for the school district, whichever one you want to take, what do you feel that number one issue is today?
How much time do we have? There's a lot.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, I'll try to rein it in. There's so many things. I mean, we could talk about funding. We can talk about the COVID loss. That is a very real thing. I will say Mansfield's been great at immediately addressing that and assessing where our kids are at. We implemented a program this past year that really looks at how they're growing, not necessarily where they're at, but the growth that they're taking over throughout the year, and can kind of predict where they're going to end at the end of the school year. So that's awesome. But really, probably the main concern, and I would say this is probably nationwide, I know we're dealing with it as well as the state and nation, is really just teacher retention. I mean, it's terrifying. I read an article, I think the National Education Association, I think it was, don't quote me on that, but one of the associations put out a study that 55, I think, to 60% of teachers are thinking about leaving the profession. And that's terrifying. I mean, that has school districts in a panic right now, because we can have the best goals in place. We can have the best programs in place. We can be super competitive across the board. But if we don't have teachers in the classroom, we're in serious trouble. And so
did they state the reason why?
I think a lot of it's just burnout. I can tell you, I've talked to teachers throughout our district, and, I started reaching out immediately, even before I heard that statistic, or teachers reach out to me all the time. And one of their biggest concerns is they just feel like they're overwhelmed. They are taking on sometimes the job of 2 teachers because we don't have enough teachers. If the sub rate's not filled, they're putting kids in classrooms, and it's great. I mean, we have amazing teachers that are willing to step in and do that, but the reality is that you can only do it for so long. It's not sustainable. And so that's a real concern. The other concern is they just don't feel supported. So they got into the teaching profession because they truly have a passion for teaching. And when they're having to deal with discipline issues, when they're having to deal with parents not being in partnership with the schools and blaming everything that's happening on the teacher or the school district. I think sometimes parents forget that this is a partnership. So we're in a partnership with the parents. We ultimately want what is best for every single child, but the schools can't do it alone. We have to involve the parents and really come together, collaborate together, and figure out, how we are going to support these kids. So that's a big one. I mean, just the supports within the school, just feeling supported on, grading, I mean, discipline, the list goes on, but teachers have got to be a priority. And pay is important. I mean, we've been competitive over the last several years. We did dip down to, I think we're ranked number 10 in North Texas right now. For a long time, we were in the top 5. So that's a priority for us. I will say, when we dip back down, a lot of the districts this past year did give a 4% raise. Mansfield, unfortunately, was only able to give a 2% raise, but I do have to commend Mansfield. We did not dip into our ESSER funds to be able to pay for that raise. we looked at it and we were fiscally responsible. We knew that we needed to be able to give a raise that was going to be sustainable. And so we were able to, take the VATRE out to the voters. They decided to pass that, which is going to be very helpful. It freed up millions of dollars to pour back into, hopefully will ultimately result in raises across the board, not just teachers. I'm talking, it takes everybody to run these schools. So teachers are on the front lines in the classrooms every day, but we have cafeteria staff, we have the custodial staff, we have administration. I mean, we could not do this without every single person in the schools. They're all vital to the success of these kids.
Well, and I think sometimes people think that the silver bullet there is pay. And I don't think that's always the case, especially, yeah.
It's important. I mean, let's be honest,
no, it is.
Important factor. You have to make a living at what you're doing, but the culture and the support within whether it's a business or the school or wherever you are, that's what's going to keep people there and grow those people, make a career in the district. And then that's what we want. I want the best teachers in our classrooms for my kids, for your kids, for every kid. Right. So we've got to figure out a way to make sure that they know that we're here supporting them and cheering them on, doing whatever we can, to make their job just a little bit easier.
So talk about your background a little bit and how it works with being on school board.
Okay.
Because you've been on school board.
I have. So I'm up for re-election previous to this, and I still am currently full-time in real estate. Been doing real estate for about 20 years. Do residential real estate, and then me and my husband work on different commercial development projects. Everything is in Mansfield, so we are very invested in Mansfield. And then also I had been on several boards over the years while my kids were younger, and then worked with Casa of Tarrant County for, I think, since 2015, advocating for kids. I've really found that work that I did previous to being on the board was really helpful, just understanding how to advocate for every kid. Every kid's in a different spot. They come from a different background, different challenges that they face. And so having a voice that really just rallies behind them and says, you can do this, I believe in you. It's been good to be able to bring that same type of voice over to the school district. So,
okay. All right. So how do you think that you are different from other candidates?
Well, other than, the biggest difference probably is just experience on the board. I definitely know in my place, I'm the only one that has previously been on the board. I know in other spots, there have been there's other candidates that have been on the board, but really just having that year behind me and getting to know kind of how the district runs, policies that are in place, communicating with administration on how we can do things better, having a better understanding of why things are done the way they are now. It's really easy. And I can tell you, I'm guilty of this, is sitting back when you're not in the midst of something and saying, why are we doing that? That's crazy. And so really having the knowledge and understanding, okay, that there is a process in place and this is why we do it. One of my big ones last year when I was running was communication. I felt like there was a lack of communication between the community and the district. I will say it has greatly improved. We've really, as a board, that was one of the top things that we started to tackle when I got on last year, was how can we better communicate with parents? Because the parents have a right to know what's going on, why things are happening. The text messaging that we have, I get them at least once or twice a week as a parent, just, hey, this is going on. Hey, and it's just a quick text. You can click on a link. So just little things like that, and being willing to improve on just things. There's a long way to go. There's still a lot of things I know that need to be improved. But communication really is key to any relationship that you have with anybody. This is, with the school district, with relationships, within your family, friend group, whatever. Keeping that open communication really just builds trust, and that's vital to any relationship.
Do you think that was probably the biggest surprise in your first year of what you learned being on school board? Because like you said, you don't know until you sit on it. You just don't know what you don't know.
You just don't know what you don't know. So yeah, I think, one of the things that's probably, I don't even know if this was really a surprise. I knew that our district was amazing and that we had some amazing administration and teachers, but it's been so awesome to see them jump in and fill these gaps. We've got, team leads that are driving buses because we don't have bus drivers to drive them. We've got administration teaching some classes to fill in. We've had central office staff teaching at elementary schools when our fill rate for our subs were low. So it's just been, it's been a breath of fresh air in times of, oh my gosh, how are we going to get through this? And really everyone jumps in and they just get it done. So that's been really fun to watch from this side of things.
Cool. Well, I thank you for taking time to visit with us. A short little time here, but we'll have more opportunities, as I said, with other events coming up. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Lori. Appreciate you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.